I want you to know that I love you very much. And I wanted to wait until you were old enough to understand.
Understand what? Huh?
Carlos, I am HIV positive. And so are you. I was young and scared, and I didn't get the proper treatment. I'm sorry.
No. It's not true, Ma.
I am so sorry, baby.
On top of having a heart condition.
No.
I have...
No. You don't have a heart condition. Those pills you take are ARVs. They are not for your heart, they are for the virus. I take them too.
No. It's not true.
I'm sorry, Carlos. Carlos!
It's a quake.
Welcome to It's a Quake. So, welcome, Penny.
Thank you so much for welcoming me here. It's a quake.
So, our topic for today is living with HIV, growing up with HIV. And you are making great strides in bringing awareness to all our youth out there that it is possible. It is possible to just live positively. So, is it okay that we just go a little deeper today?
No problem. We can go deeper to where I can able to answer all your questions. So I'm so honored to be on air with you guys and be talking more about HIV, living with HIV and born with HIV or got contact with HIV. So yes. I'm so pleased to be here today.
Sure, I'm very happy to hear that. So, Penny, can you maybe take us on your journey of discovering your status?
Okay, taking you to my journey of discovering my status. Okay, it started when I was at primary. I felt sick, and then when I went to grade 8, it was in 2009. I had a problem with liver and the heart, so I had to be taken to the hospital for operation. So my mom was told by my doctor that I need to go for operation. However, there should be some tests that need to be done, and then that's how I got diagnosed of HIV, and it was a shock, a little shock. So that was the time I got HIV, and I was in grade 8. By then I was 14 to 15 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Wow, but thank you for sharing that. We really appreciate that. I understand that even us talking, taking you back to that moment, might not be the best of feelings, and therefore I'd like to ask you if it is okay with you, would you maybe share with us how did you contract the virus?
Okay. How I contacted the virus, I stayed in a house full of people, like we were a lot, like kind of 21 people. Some are strangers, some are families. Yeah. So I got molested by one of my cousin. He was in his early 30s. So it happened quite sometimes, and I couldn't tell the elder about it because back then talking about sexual stuff was kind of a taboo.
Understand.
You'll be beaten to death, actually. So I kept it a secret until then. I felt sick and I was taken to the hospital. So that's how I got contacted. So I got molested by my cousin, who was at his early 30s, and I was just 10 to 11 years by then.
Penny, you know, as a man, I want to say I'm very sorry for what had happened in your early childhood years, and you know the challenges that had to come because of you know what had taken place. Today, as we are talking about this, the news that you received, you were still a child. How do you say, have you been affected psychologically and, you know, mentally? How has it affected your life on that specific, say, that time when you had to go for the operation, you found out you were sick, and the years after that, how has it affected you?
Well, at first, it wasn't really something that I need to consider much because I was just a kid.
I understand. Yeah.
I didn't know much about life. I didn't really thought of the future. So, and me taking the medication, I knew that having HIV back then, it was like kind of a serious disease. Everybody would take you, otherwise you wouldn't even want to drink in the same cup with somebody because of your status. So, but I was so lucky that I was on medical aid. I could hide my status to everyone that is close to me except my mother.
Right.
But as times goes, as years keep on going, I kept asking myself, will I be able to have a future? Will I be able to have a child in life? Will I be able to travel abroad?
Exactly.
Will I even be able to get a job? I remember when I wrote my grade 10, I wanted to apply for NDF. And it came to my thought that if I apply, they are going to ask me to get tested, and I'm already HIV positive. It's not going to happen. So I decided, no, I'm not going to apply for that job. It was so weird. And I started like
You didn't apply?
I didn't apply it. I started like it was a self-stigmatization because I felt like people are going to think of me otherwise, and some will think I had like I was having somebody, like I slept around, but it wasn't like that at all. I was just young by then.
Don't put those in my sink. Go and wash them at the tap outside and keep them separate. From now on, they are yours. I do not want to see you mixing them up with my other dishes. Despite the fact that I couldn't afford it, I still let you come live here with us. I did it out of obligation because you're my little sister's child. When Nangula died, it was my responsibility to take you in. But I will not allow you to come here and influence my daughter with your Jezebel ways, spreading your filthy virus all over this house. Do you hear me? Disgusting.
Sure. Wow, thank you for sharing that. That is very important, you know. I believe also for other youth who are going through the same challenges that you have been facing. So tell me, as you grow up now, going into teenage years, you kind of touched on that. You know, when it comes to the romantic side of life and being a girl and so on, growing up, how would you say that, you know, how did being positive or living positively affect your life when it comes to dating?
Wow. So, okay. When it comes to dating, that really affected me a lot because I wasn't that free to disclose my status to my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Somebody that I call a boyfriend, that's who I actually go into intimacy with. But I was more responsible. Whenever I go out with someone, I actually have to use protection. Yet I would not want the person to know where I stood, because I was afraid of rejection, and I was afraid of people mocking me. Even though I got mocked already grade 10 when my friends disclosed they found out about my status, and they started making jokes out of it, and which actually leads me to change school.
Goodness.
Yes,
Really?
from the school where I was, I felt so uncomfortable because it was everyday topic, like in the class, life skills they talk about. When they say topic about HIV, you feel like you are the one they're talking about.
Yeah, they
and
just
so
now
on.
focusing on.
Yeah, because they know your status. That actually let me change the school. So I moved to another school where I felt so a bit comfortable, because no one knew about my status.
Sure.
Until to extend that where I stayed. The lady who I used to stay with also happened to find out. She was told by someone that knows me, and she could accept me, but I had that self-stigma that even though she accepted me, I feel like even if I touch, what if maybe I had a wound or something and I touched one of her kids and so on. It's really made me feel uncomfortable until I move also to another location. So
you moved again?
Yes. It wasn't really that easy. Sure. When it comes to relationship, I ended up dating online, like having online relationship, because when you're having online relationship, you barely get to meet up with people.
Sure.
You just actually have a conversation on the phone, intimacy on the phone, and so on. That is the only way I used to. It really affected me very much, until I happened to meet up my baby daddy, who understood me and accepted me for who I am.
Yes, for who you are.
Yes, so
that's wonderful.
I was very happy for him, actually. At that point, I was very happy. And when I realized there are people that can accept you for who you are. So that's my journey in dating, yes.
Exactly. Now, that is a very good point that you are making there. Coming to your physical health, over the years, thank you, first of all, that you have answered, this, I believe, very serious question, difficult, maybe to think of and to go through it. But coming back to you growing up, through the years, have there been places or times where you were affected more seriously on a physical level? Have you had to face many physical challenges due to your fighting the virus?
Yes, back then, before I got diagnosed, I could get sick. Like I was really sick, and I had to go to hospitals. I had heart problem, I had liver problem, and so forth. There won't be any day that I wouldn't be having a headache, coughing, and so on. And it was really very bad. But after I started my medication, up to now, I'll tell you, there wasn't a day I went to the hospital sick of a flu, coughing and all that.
Wow.
I understand that there are also side effects to the medication. However, with me, it never happened at all. I never had bad dreams. I never had all those sort of things that people get to tell, that if you start medication, you also become sexual active and all those kind of things. I never had it. But it really boosted my immune, and it made me healthy and stronger. So that's all I can say.
Amazing. So once we're on that, tell me what major changes, lifestyle adjustments have you made that you feel have made you live healthier and even a more positive lifestyle?
Actually, the lifestyle I will say is, when I started the medication, I was still young. That is really difficult to say that my lifestyle back then has changed because for my mostly whole life on medication, I already know to be responsible, the type of food I should eat. And when it comes to drinking, not drinking alcohol and all those kind of things. So
no alcohol?
No, I do drink alcohol. I do drink wine sometimes twice a month. So that's normal. And also eat healthy. But sometimes when you tell people to eat healthy, they expect you to eat like expensive food and all sort of things.
What would you suggest? Sorry to interrupt you. What would you suggest is a healthy, types of food that is not so expensive that our guys can eat out there?
Like, I came from a agricultural background in the northern side where people grow vegetables and fruits and all sort of things. So if you can buy a seed in Spa and all that to grow spinach, plain spinach and all those kind of things, just those vegetables, eat fish, meat not much, but I love meat. Nothing really, I love meat so much, but fish is very healthy, and also fruits. That's the main thing that I focus on. And also just to be responsible, not to have multiple sexual partners and so on, can keep yourself healthy. So that's the only thing that I did, and it made me strong and healthy up to now.
Wow.
It's a quake.
Penny, we are really discussing some of the most important issues in this country. And we are discussing what many people face in their hearts, in their minds, in their inner rooms. And today, you are giving everyone out there the hope, and you are giving them the inspiration, that you can go out there and you can live positively. So thank you for having shared what you have already. So can you maybe take us on this further journey and tell us, as your journey of becoming a mother, how was it like, and how is it like when you first heard that you're going to be a mother, and throughout, raising your child until the stage where we are at now?
Okay, thank you for the question. But first, let me just try to say, before I became a mother, I so wanted, I had my child at my child is actually my 21st kid. So I had him at the age of 21.
Yeah.
So I so badly wanted a child because with my baby daddy, I felt like, he knows me, he knows my stages, I'm done. I don't want anyone anymore.
Yes.
So I must be there with him. I must have a family now.
Yeah.
So then before then, because he accepted for who I am, we had to go for counseling and to go to the to see the nurses and the doctors on how we can able now to protect him from getting infected.
Yeah.
So nevertheless, I was undetectable. I couldn't able to transmit, like the chances of me transmitting the virus to him were zero, like slim. He cannot able to have it. So when I find out that I'm pregnant, I was happy. But however, at the hospital, they told me that you should take care of yourself because once you get stressed out, the chances of infecting your child is also high, because I don't know, I was also feeling a bit stressed, and then my viral load was a little bit getting higher, rising, until I managed to level my stress and depression and so on.
Yes.
So I was afraid. I was like, I hope I'm not going to have this child positive. I must do the right thing. I have to make sure that I go for every follow-up and so forth. I was afraid because at the background where I came from, where I found many kids born with HIV and also, it's not something that you need to blame onto, because back then the medication was rare to find, and also people had really they didn't have knowledge about the virus.
On how to deal with it,
as for me, educated and happened to find myself in a situation whereby I have to give birth to a positive child, was going to be an awkward situation I will ever find myself in. So I had to make sure that I really take good care of myself. I go to the hospital. I always, I always read, do research on Google just to find out how I can able to keep
yourself up to date with how to do it.
So yes, so when I delivered my baby, the nurses, they gave me medication. They're like the anti viral treatment that I need to give him so that he does not get infected. So that's what I used to do, and I breastfeeded him for some times. However, I wanted to breastfeed him for a quite long time, but time didn't actually manage. By then I got a job at a court as an interpreter, and I only stay with him 1 week in a month. So from there he didn't really have want to breastfeed, to drink the milk anymore. So I just have to leave it. So I give him the milk from the shops and all that. But otherwise, it was very happiest moment, that because when I delivered that baby, first second I asked the nurses, was like, please, I just want to find out the status of my child. She was like, no, he's HIV negative. I'm like, oh my God, thank God.
Whoa,
that's the only thing I
want. That's amazing.
It was very good. So I was really, really happy to hear that he was he's negative. So I'm happy, and now he's grown up. He's 6 years. He's now the one taking care of me. When I forget my medication, be like, Mom, you didn't take your medication, please. I'm like, okay,
look at that.
go get my meds. So
such a wonderful, wonderful story. Now, what would you suggest now? What approach should couples, young people who also want to have children, right? One is maybe positive, the other is negative, like how you explained now. And sometimes maybe if both of them are positive, how do you think they should approach having a baby?
Okay, for positive partners, all they could do is, what I want to tell the nation out there is that being HIV is not a death sentence. And HIV is just a virus that can be suppressed by the medication that you get at the hospital. And in Namibia, we get the medication for free. And I wouldn't want to hear that somebody out there given birth to a positive child, or if somebody out there is on medication and have infected the partners by dropping out medication and all sort of things. That shouldn't be happening, right, in Namibia, because we get free medication, and we need to learn more about on how to keep up your health, to keep up an undetectable life, so that you don't transmit it to the negative partner. So when one is negative and then the other one is positive, they get together, and for as long as you are undetectable, the chances of transmitting the virus to your partner is very slim, it's 0. So, and also at the clinic, they do give out PrEP, which is actually given to the HIV negative partners, so that they can protect themselves from not getting the virus. So obviously, when you want to make a baby, you can also make a baby and give birth to a healthy child, which is not HIV, also HIV. And the thing is, it's all about keeping up your health, because the more you skip your medication, the chances of viral loss, you bringing it into your blood, it will also be high, and it will cause the other person, you will also infect the other person. So I would prefer that couple out there that are living with positive life, that are dating other positive people, they should take care of their medication. They should consider also using protection, which is condoms, and also try to avoid multiple partners, because even if you are infected, you are on medication, and you are seeing someone out there that is not on medication, or you do not know where the person is, and maybe the person is also infected, and possibility might be a new infection, or let me say an old infection, which is having a high viral load, will reinfect you again. And then it will also lead to mutation, or lead to the HIV resistance. Like your virus is no longer going to, the medication is no longer working in your body, because the more it's trying to fight the disease, the more you are adding it to the other next person that is positive, and is not on medication. That's what happened. So they should just take care of themselves and drink PrEP for those that are HIV free, and those that are HIV positive, they continue with their medication.
Sure. Wow. So once you are talking about medication, can you maybe, tell us, what do you think is the best way for children, who have to transition into, say for instance, they are finding out, they discover their status being positive, and now they have to transition into this lifestyle of taking medication. It can be sometimes a very, very serious adjustment for them. How do you suggest that parents and caretakers, first of all, give the information or reveal the status to the child, and then how do they support this child in a sensitive way to now adjust to this new lifestyle?
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, that it's a little bit tricky and difficult question for me. Being in a country that is into rejection and ignorance, we are too much neglecting this virus. So for 14 years I've been on medication. We hardly get to have like an awareness whereby it comes. I watch TV 7 days a week, but there is no a day that there will be even a series playing that is actually teaching people about HIV. And also there is no much preaching of HIV and so forth. People still live in fear and in a stigma way of rejection.
Rejection, okay.
Yes. So if the nation will stand and try to preach about the knowledge about HIV and get to give more information on how people should disclose the virus to the virus to the kids, to the small ones, and on how they can also try to help the other one and save the other ones that are HIV free, then that is the only way we can do it. Because right now people are afraid. They're afraid of being rejected. They're afraid of being mocked, and they're afraid of being discriminated. Why? Because we are not doing anything. The nation is so quiet about it. Like right now, the nation is more focused on corona and then HIV that is still spreading. So if we can preach it out everywhere, we can even 2 or 3 times a week try to play roles about HIV and try to educate, because as time goes, things changes. Like there is also injection that is coming, which is actually replacing the the pills now.
Oh.
Nobody knows about it, and even with the PrEP that came in, nobody knows about it. But now that if there are people out there to educate and to give knowledge and to give more information about HIV, then the mothers that are having the kids that are infected at homes will have the courage to tell their children that, you know what, this is who you are, this is what is happening to you, and you must know that it's not the end of the world. You can still live a healthy life. You can still focus on your career, what you want to do, and all sort of things. But as long as this is not happening in Namibia, we can't able to. That is why I am fighting for the awareness for people to understand the discrimination is a lot.
I can't have it. I mean, it was only once, and it was the first time. You have to sleep around with different people to get HIV, right? Right?
I wish that was true, babe, but once is all it takes.
I always tell people that stigma is a trap to the spread of HIV. The reason I'm saying stigma is a trap to the spread of HIV is that the people are afraid to go to the clinic and get tested. Why? If you get tested and you find out that you are HIV, then you self-stigmatize yourself.
Sure.
Instead of people out there to stigmatize you, you are the one that is stigmatizing yourself. Then you feel, once you get out of that testing room, you already feel like everyone can tell that you are sick. Everyone can tell that you are having the virus. You even like look at yourself and like, I'm becoming thin, I'm what, but no one knows about it.
Sure.
So, and also mocking. People have this tendency that HIV only comes from multiple sexual partners. You can just meet a guy right now, you go with that guy for the first time and then you get it. So it's not like because I have multiple partners, there's too much judgment when somebody got HIV. They feel like the person is running around with men and all sort of things. It's not like that.
Sure.
And we are putting too much blame on other people. Like, okay, I got infected because of this person and all sort of things. We need to let go. When this thing happened to you, you need to accept it. And I also told people that the only thing, HIV doesn't kill anymore. The only thing that will kill you is the big...
That's a very important... Can you repeat what you just said now?
I said HIV doesn't kill anymore.
Okay.
It is just a virus, and it's just like a headache. Nowadays, it's just a headache. And one pill that you take a day to help your health, to keep you strong, matters.
Sure.
You will defeat HIV. You will kill HIV before it kills you. It's not back then when HIV was killing you before you kill it. So now I really fail to understand why people have to be afraid and also, but it's only when the nation get to understand the concept of HIV and get to erase stigma out of the way.
Yes.
So, and I know I received after the article that that was posted by the Namibian, I received many calls about people getting difficult on how they disclose their status. I understand I was also in the situation, but at the end of the day, what I tell the people is that a relationship of a positive person is the same as a relationship of a negative person. If a person wants to stay in a relationship with you, he will stay in a relationship with you no matter what you have, your sickness for, as long as you bring awareness to that person, that person will understand you better. And even if this person went to go be irresponsible and so forth, this person will understand that you are not the cause of his misbehavior or irresponsibility.
Right.
So, and I also tell people that the only thing that kills now is the big five: stress, anxiety, blame, guilt, and and also depression. Those are the things that really kills people nowadays. They don't die of HIV anymore because once you get your status and you're like, okay, you are already stressed, you have already blame, you are already finding out who could it be, and also accept that you are now at a new chapter. And then you take your medication, you will live a healthy life like any other person.
Yeah, that's very, 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 very important information that you are giving. So I want you to, just in your last remarks, even if you repeat any of it, what you had said now, because all of it is so, so rich and so important that people's lives will be changed. People will hear today and they will have the opportunity to make a decision to start with facing this challenge, knowing that they will overcome it in a way that you have explained it today, that and the way that you are living it out. And we thank God for your life and that you are setting such an example. So in your closing remarks, what would you say to the nation and to anyone out there who feel afraid today? Like you had said, it's the fear. Who feel depressed today, it is that thoughts, you know, of I will not make it, all these negative thoughts about life in the future. How will you encourage us today?
Actually, what I will want to encourage the nation is that this is actually a statement that was given by my ex-boyfriend. It's actually the guy that rejected me. He didn't reject me because of my status. He rejected me for not telling him about my status at the first time.
Wow.
Because it wasn't just not easy for me to disclose my status to someone, because I felt that he was going to reject me. And the fact that I love him and he loves me, he was going to walk away. Yeah, yet we communicate, we do communicate even though we are not in a relationship, but he told me that if you are going, because like what I'm saying is that many people, they fail to understand their status. They end up committing suicide, end up killing one another, or even blaming on the other one and end up killing the other one, is that you look at your future, look at your future, and also look at the people that you have that are surrounding you. You don't have to live your life for other people. You live your life for you. And then you make your life happy and keep your head up. Because being HIV is not a death sentence. It's just a virus that is within you that can be actually be suppressed by one single pill that you drink a day.
Yeah.
And it does not also stop you from having a relationship. And that is what I'm saying, that they should let go of anxiety, blame, and guilt, and all sort of things. Because the more you bring yourself all those big five I mentioned, the more you are bringing a lot of sickness into your body, and it's no longer HIV that is killing you.
Wow.
Then it's multiple of sickness that are killing you, of which it end up you get stress, or cancer, or anything, because now your head or your mind, your emotion is just full of mixed feelings. You don't know where to go anymore. But it's for you to be happy and understand that, okay, I am now facing this new chapter. I have people that are looking up for me. I should accept myself, and I should accept myself. And for the people out there that are affected, that also find themselves in a situation whereby they have family members or loved ones that are infected, they must show support. I'm not saying you must sympathize somebody. We are not here to be sympathized. We are here just to be supported and to be told to actually put our head up and face the reality and face the new chapter. Because if you are sympathizing the person or you want to be in a relationship with the person out of pity, it's not going to work out. Because I'll feel that you don't love me, you just want to be with me out of pity because of my condition.
Yes.
And also to people out there that are accepting people, and then at later stage, because I realized I was also in the same situation whereby the men get to accept me, and then after then he started abusing me. They HIV negative people, they have this tendency of getting these people just to actually make them feel unvaluable, like feel unworth it.
Yes.
As a HIV positive person, you live just normal life like a negative person. You deserve to be treated also like a queen. You deserve the love and everything, affection as any other person. There is no difference.
Sure.
The only difference is that I have the red blood cell that is actually a cross, which is a take control. And you have your white blood cell that is actually clean as it is right now, but it's not that is a permanent kind of thing, because for as long as everybody encounter or find themselves in sexual intercourse, you might find yourself within the same situation as the other person. So with mocking and all sorts of things, it's not really necessary like right at the moment, because you do not know where you stood. Because HIV can also stay in your body, not detecting for a long period of time, on a window period, and then on a later stage you might be infected at the end of the day. So like I said, stigma is a trap to the virus. And many people feel comfortable in the relationship. Once you enter in a relationship, you get tested from the first time, then from there you feel so relaxed, you're no longer going to test anymore. Because you know you are in a serious relationship with this person. You never know where this person was before you met this person. So now the first test that you got and you receive is when you are saying, no, we are okay, we are going to get tested. We are no longer going to use protection because all of us are fine and we are in a serious relationship. Normalize testing, normalize condomizing, so that we can really break the chain. That is the only thing I can say. I'm not promoting HIV, but I'm trying to break the chain to limit the high rate of the spread of HIV and to live a normal life. So we do not want a spread of HIV any longer. And to the mothers out there that finding themselves that are HIV positive, Namibia is one of the top 10 country that is actually well taking care of themselves, and the medication, they are really being responsible. So I'm hoping that mothers out there that are pregnant and finding themselves in a situation whereby when you fall pregnant, you find yourself positive, please do take care of your medication. It only takes 6 months for the virus to suppress and get out of your blood and goes into the bones, and so that you do not infect your unborn child. So they must take care of themselves.
6 months.
It only takes 6 months for the drugs to suppress the virus
Very
into the blood.
Information that
yes.
you are giving now.
So, but they get to have a misunderstanding when it's saying that the virus is being suppressed, is no longer detectable. It does not mean that you don't have the virus. It is just so weak, it cannot be detectable. But as long if you leave out the medication, then it will It will come back and it will.
Rosie, I have your results. And you're HIV negative. I am? You're sure? Sorry, it's just that I was prepared for the worst. He's HIV positive and we didn't use protection, so I just thought that maybe Well, if he's HIV undetectable, you know, the chances of him infecting anyone are very slim to none. You do know that HIV undetectable is practically not transmittable, right? I don't understand. What's HIV undetectable? Well, if an HIV positive person, takes their treatment and, lives a healthy lifestyle, then the viral load in their blood decreases so much to a point where the virus can't be transmitted. Wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
Incredible. You are so knowledgeable. And what I take from this is the more knowledge you have, the more liberating you can live. And you are really demonstrating that to us in all of your way, especially being a mother, and being and having and explaining, how one can go through when you want to be a mother and also have a loved one in your life, how to go about that. That is so amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
There's much that we can still share today, but we have come to the end of this program today, and we once again want to just thank you for your bravery. Thank you for sharing, and yes, we have learned a lot, and I'm sure that the country out there, all the young people, and not only the youth, but everyone has taken and have been enriched from what you have been sharing with us today.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. It was a pleasure actually meeting you here and having me in your studio to discuss about HIV, and I hope the nation will really take into consideration and adhere to the rules. Condomize, go get yourself PrEP if you know you cannot stay with one partner, and condomize is the only thing that is most important. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Penny, for being here. It's a quake, and as we have heard today, stay positive, and then you can overcome being positive. And I also, from my side, want to ask some of us, or everyone, to really consider there's also another way. It's to abstain. Consider the benefits, and see you next time.
It's a quake.
No, no cuido yo para, luego estimo de taga.